So, Nathan, how in the world are you?
I'm pretty good. I just finished spring break, which is kind of sad. I sat around and worked. Well, I worked, and then I sat around and I played Final Fantasy a lot. Like, literally, like last Saturday, I played it, like, all day. Like, I mean, given, like, the day started at, like, 1 o'clock, but I played it, like, ever since, like, I got up.
But from then on, it was all Final
Like,
Fantasy.
seriously. And... which I'll talk more about that later. But yeah, so I just had spring break and stuff, which means no school, but now I'm back into it. But the school year's still almost over, really. I mean, like, May is in like 2 months or something like that. So that's encouraging. So yeah. How are you?
I've been doing okay. So I'm trying to think. Something happened this week. We'll get to that later, actually. Yes, I know. I'm just full of
mysterious
information right now. Here's something weird to share. So, the Walking Dead episode with Rick and Michonne.
Yeah.
Where they find the MREs, and one is called Chili Mac.
Yeah.
We made that last night. We made chili, and then we took the Velveeta shells and cheese and mixed them together. I put hot sauce in mine.
It was good.
Really good.
Well, I don't like chili at all, so.
You don't like chili?
No.
How do you not like chili?
I don't like beans.
But what about just like a meat chili?
Maybe. I've never really had it. I just don't like beans, so I usually stay away from it. But yeah. I like the flavor of it, but
like
beans...
No beans at all?
I don't know.
Not even baked beans?
But like, I don't know. Refried beans can be okay, but I just don't like the texture of just like normal like beans. Like, I don't know. Like, texture is very important to me. Probably more important than it should be.
I can't stand lima beans.
Actually, those are the ones that I do eat sometimes. Like in soups and stuff, I don't mind them.
They're like salty and powdery and like ugh.
Yeah, I don't know about eating them like plain or whatever. But
well, eating them cooked, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we tried that the other night.
What is it Rick said? Really, he's like
this one is chili
and mac and cheese.
Cheese.
That episode was interesting.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah, that's fun.
But yeah, so we had that. Trying to think what else that's not related. I'm trying to keep not talk. I don't want to talk about work anymore on the podcast. I kind of feel like no one can relate because no one knows what I do because that's by design. But yeah, just someone did tell me at work that who just started playing Resident Evil 7 that he's like way farther than us. So
that's encouraging.
We'll have to catch up.
Yeah, actually, speaking of work, I used to work with someone who likes video games. We would always talk about video games and stuff, and I told him that I was playing Resident Evil, and he said that he just got it and that he was playing it with his like wife the other night, and she was like watching it or whatever. But that's irrelevant. And he was like saying how he just started playing it and now he hasn't really had a chance to play it anymore. I went back and saw him like the next week, and he said that he beat the whole thing. Like one night, he just decided that he would just beat the whole thing, and he did.
It's not that long of a game.
Okay. No, he said that he did it like one night. Like he was just like he just wanted to finish it, so he just kept going. And I was like, oh, okay.
It's such a hard game to play for like longer than an hour or two. It really gets to you. So, I guess we're talking about video games now. What you playing?
Well, you know very well what I'm playing. I'm playing Final Fantasy on the NES Classic Edition. And where even was I last time? Oh, gosh.
Something about Lich.
Oh, gosh. Oh, man. I had just killed the Lich. Yeah, I got out, I got out of the peninsula area and I got to the Lich. I killed the Lich. So the Earth Orb is shining. I then went to the Ice Cave. And the Ice Cave was pretty tough. I had to buy like 100 health potions just to get through it. And I used like more than 70 of them or something like that. But I thought that the ice cave, because I had previously done the earth cave, and the earth cave made me fight the earth fiend, and then I got the earth orb glowing again. I thought the ice cave would have an ice fiend, and then I would get the ice orb glowing again. You don't really even know anything about this, though, do you? Because you haven't. Yeah.
No.
So I thought that the ice cave would mean that I would get that stuff again. There would be an ice fiend, but it was just another cave, and I got this thing called a floater when I did it. So I was kind of like annoyed by that. I was like, I thought I would get to fight another ice fiend, but I didn't. I got this thing called a floater, and so the thing was like in towns. I heard people talking about, like, if I would talk to players, to NPCs, they'd say like, legend says that there's a floating ship buried deep beneath the ground, and so I took the floater, which is described as a magic rock that can make things levitate. I took it to this little desert area, and I went to items, and I used the floater, and it made the airship rise out of the ground. And oh my gosh, the airship is like the greatest thing ever. Like, remember when I talked about how it's really tedious to walk around to get to places because you always run into dudes. Oh, like, I figured that the airship, because of the boat, you still run into enemies, you still run into water enemies. I figured I'd run into like air enemies. No one attacks me while I'm in the airship, and it goes so fast. Like, I can go over anything, like even the mountains now.
The airship has always been Final Fantasy's version of fast travel.
It's so good. Yeah. And so the first place I went when I got the airship was oh crap! I skipped the whole step. Before I did any of that, I went to the in later versions they called it the Citadel of Trials, I think, but in that one it's just called the Castle of Ordeals. And I had always read that after the Castle of Ordeals you get to upgrade your character class. And so I beat the Castle of Ordeals, and I was like, oh, okay, well, my dudes are still the same. So I was really confused. But upon beating it, I got this rat tail. It's just called a tail, and it's supposed to be a proof of courage that I have to take somewhere. So after I got that, then the airship, I used the airship to fly up to these islands, which are apparently like called the Dragon Islands, with all these caves in them. And so I explored all that, and there was a bunch of gold in the dragon caves. And there's just like all these friendly dragon dudes walking around. It's really weird.
Hey, what's up?
Seriously, it's weird. Like the first one dude was just like, "You're not afraid of me? That's impressive." And I was just like, "Yeah, it's kind of weird. I've killed your kind before. Sorry." But like, I just killed a bunch of ice dragons in the ice cave. Don't mind me. So I went to the Dragon King. I can't even remember his name, but he was like, "Ooh," all the dragons spoke of like the king will accepts proof of courage and rewards warriors or whatever. And so I gave him the rat tail, and I got the character class upgrade. And so now I got a knight, a black wizard, a white wizard, and a master. It still doesn't make sense to me that the ninja isn't the upgraded version of the black belt. But ninja,
I think, is upgraded version of thief.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Sneaks.
Yeah, but like black belt ninja, I don't know. Those are really closely related.
I thought he was going to go from being black belt to like
sensei. I don't know.
I thought he went from monk to being black belt.
There's no monk. Maybe later. I don't know anything about that.
Probably in later revisions of the game.
But yeah, so now I've discovered all these other towns and spells that I have to buy with the airship. It's so convenient. Like, I love it so much. But now I have to make my way to Gurgu. I don't know how to pronounce Gurgu Gurgu Volcano, which is where I'm supposed to fight the fire fiend.
So it sounds like you're not too far off from beating it.
Well, I still have 3 orbs to get shiny again, but I've done a lot of stuff without doing that, so I have a feeling it's going to start piling up, because I feel like that's pretty much all I have left. It's like a sea shrine, like this air temple place, and then the volcano, and then whatever's last. I don't really know where that's going to be. But yeah, so I should be nearing the end, but right now I'm probably going to slow down a little bit and get some spells and stuff, so that's what I'm playing, and I should be nearing the end of it. So
cool.
Yeah. What are you playing?
So I wasn't gonna do this, but I can't help it. I started over Breath of the Wild.
Oh, because you wanted to play it all myself,
and I wanted to like. I found out that we missed stuff, like on the Great Plateau. So I wanted to do that first, and that's such a good game. Oh my goodness. Like, let me just tell you some of the things that I've been through with it so far. So, my brother-in-law, you know him, he got a Switch, and he's also playing Breath of the Wild. I'm playing it on the Wii U, and he told me, he's like, "Oh man, have you run into those like centaur lion guys?" And they're Lionels, and they've always been like just stupidly strong enemies in Zelda. Like, in the first game, I want to say they're in the northern part of the map, and if you go there, you can.
In which one?
The original Zelda.
Oh, really? They're in that?
Yeah. So, if you go there and you try to fight them, like as soon as you can, like you'll get creamed. Like there's no way you can fight them really. They do the same thing you do as far as like shooting lasers out of your sword. So they have them in Breath of the Wild, and I go into this one area. I'm in a newer area, at least for me. And my deal is, once I get to a new area, make a beeline for the tower so that I can get the map filled out, and then do all the shrines that I can access. So I'm on my way to one of those shrines, and I go through a gate, and there's a Lionel on patrol, and the thing is huge. He's like probably like 4 times the size of Link. And so the first time I go through that area, I'm like, well, you know what? You know, my brother-in-law said those enemies are really tough. And he's like, if you see one, just run. Like, don't even bother. They're like guardians. Like, you don't want to mess around.
Have you killed a guardian?
I haven't yet, but I know how to. And I think I'm going to try it next time I run into one. I've just found guardians that are stuck in the ground still. Like, I haven't seen a free roaming one yet.
They'll be there. Sure.
Yeah, if you get closer to Hyrule Castle, they're there.
Yeah, that's right. They're like running around.
And I started using the amiibos. I've been using the Wolf Link amiibo.
Oh, from
Twilight Princess? Yeah, so you can summon Wolf Link. The only problem is you can only tell him to stay put or to go. But if there's enemies around, he'll just go and fight the enemies.
How does that fit into the story?
It doesn't. Like, if you go into a village, you'll get a message that pop up that says, you know, Wolf Link has returned to his own world.
Oh.
Like, it just basically, it's just a fun little feature that they added. So he gets killed. Like, if he runs out of hearts, he's only got 3 hearts. And if you play Twilight Princess on the Wii U, you can add to how many hearts he has.
Oh.
But if he dies, you can just resummon him the next day. If he doesn't die, you can actually you can feed him food, believe it or not, to keep him alive. But against a guardian, he gets one-shot killed.
Yeah.
And he's not quick enough to actually avoid the laser blast. So, yeah. I only had him for like probably 10 minutes yesterday before he got killed. Actually, we got ambushed from some enemies, some pretty strong enemies, and he just got taken out immediately. Blah blah blah.
So you killed the Lionel thing?
Yeah. So
the Liger.
The Liger.
It's a Liger.
So, well, that was the first time I went through that area. I avoided him. Then I saw him the second time. Probably 20 minutes later, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna see just
save
how
it.
tough this
Take a
guy.
shot. Right?
Yeah. So he sees me. He starts firing ice arrows, and I'm like, no, dude, that's my thing. I'm the one that fires arrows.
Oh, so he has a bow?
He has a bow at first, and so I just like was trying to dodge the ice arrows. And then when I got close enough, he puts his bow away and takes out his sword and shield, and like he charges at you, and it's really fast, and you have to. I was trying to dodge, and probably only a few times I was able to do a perfect dodge and do that flurry attack. But I fought this guy for 10 minutes, and at the time I had 5 hearts. Every time he hit me, it brought me down to 3/4 of 1 heart. So I had to keep eating meals to stay alive. And it was, at one point, he starts like shooting fireballs out of his mouth. I think there's certain enemies, once they get to a low health, they switch their tactics up. which is really cool because this isn't even a mini boss. He's just a normal enemy. But I did eventually take him out. He broke all my shields.
Oh wow!
Like I can only carry 4 shields, but he broke every single one of them. He dropped like a sword, a bow, ice arrows, and a really good shield.
How many ice arrows? Like 5?
I think it was like 10. A bundle of 10. So it was definitely worth fighting him, even though like I went through a whole bunch of weapons and shields.
So do you have any complaints about the game?
There's a little bit of clunkiness here and there.
I've heard some people complain about how much the weapons break.
They are breaking constantly.
But I feel like that's kind of the game. Like, it teaches you how to fight smartly, like, you know, or without wasting certain like types of weapons in it.
Yeah, like
I feel like that's the kind of.
I keep all of my strongest weapons in reserve. I use weak weapons because I don't care that I break, because I'm going to pick up another weak weapon right after that.
Yeah.
So they give you too many weapons.
Yeah, that's also another aspect to it. You know, you got to learn to get rid of the ones that you don't need and stuff, and it can be hard to choose.
And there is a way to like expand your inventory and be able to carry more. So yeah, that's not honestly like. Although I did hear that the Master Sword, even though it's unbreakable, when you get it, it has like only a limited amount of time, and then it has to like recharge. That's kind of dumb if that's the case.
When do you even get it?
I don't know. I don't even. Well,
where is it?
I don't know yet. I've honestly. I'm only in the, if you count the Great Plateau as the first location of the game, I'm in the 3rd location out of like 10 or so. Like I'm nowhere near.
So you haven't met Zelda yet?
No, haven't met Zelda yet.
Because apparently she comes in earlier than you would think.
Well, there are memories.
A lot of clips. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm pretty close to seeing some memories from that. And let me tell you one more thing that happened in the game. So I'm looking for these shrines, right? One of them is on top of the region I'm in has a mountain called Mount Lanryu, which is a reference to one of the spirits in Twilight Princess. There's like 4 spirits in Twilight Princess. One of them is called Lanryu, and it's like a water dragon. So I climb, and one of the things that it does in the game, of course, you have to have the right clothing for certain areas, and it was getting cold. So I had that doublet from the warm old guy. The warm doublet for the spicy meat and seafood fry.
Yeah.
That guy. So I got that, but it only keeps you warm so much. The place I went to got colder. So I went back and cooked a bunch of...
You need a warmer doublet!
Well... No, so I was wearing the warm doublet, and I made a bunch of spicy meat and seafood fry to keep me warm, and I put like 4 peppers in it, so it was keeping me warm for like 10, 11 minutes at a time. So I'm like, I could definitely explore, you know, this whole place or get to the shrine before I start freezing to death. So I go to the top of the mountain, and I'm fighting all these like stronger enemies like Ice Lizalfos and Ice Keese. And they were all like, I had to be really careful with them. So I get to the top, and there's a spring there. And coiled around the summit of the mountain is a dragon.
Whoa.
Like a serpent like dragon. It has all these eyes on it. And there's a goddess statue at the spring, and it says, like, you have to free this dragon from Calamity Ganon's curse on him. So
it's like frozen there, the dragon is?
No, it's there, but it looks like it's like tired and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And these eyes are like watching you. So I took out my bow, and I shot one of the eyes, and it comes off the mountain and then goes to the top. So
wait, I thought you were trying to free it, not kill it.
Well, by taking out these eyes on it, they're not part of the dragon.
Oh,
they're like part of the curse. So I go up to the top, the very, very top of the mountain, shoot another one. Then he goes down into a valley. So I'm like, I haven't upgraded my stamina at all. I still just have the single wheel. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to give this a try. So I started paragliding after it. And he goes into this area where there's a bunch of updrafts. And apparently whenever you like let go of your paraglider and then start it again, your stamina wheels like recovers in the air. So I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. I can definitely do this. And you have to like, while you're gliding, stop gliding and take out your bow and arrow and aim. And when you do that, when you're falling, time slows down, but it starts like really draining your stamina wheel for like a countdown of how long you have to make your shot. So once that was done, he finally comes to his senses, and then I was able to get into the shrine. And you just go into the shrine, there's no puzzles, just like, you earned it here.
Oh, yeah.
here's some treasure, here's your spirit orb.
So was it like really big, this serpent thing?
Yes, it was huge.
That's pretty cool.
Really, really big.
I still don't quite understand why there's a stamina meter for holding on to a glider, but
I mean,
it doesn't make that much sense.
I think so.
Holding onto a glider doesn't take near as much effort as like running or
That's why
climbing.
you could do it a lot longer.
Oh, you can?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Like I can glide.
It runs down way slower.
Much slower. It's like it's such a slower. It's probably the slowest thing that uses stamina.
Well, that's good. So, do you think it's a dramatic retelling of Legend of Zelda 1?
The first Zelda? It could be. I'm still
I think that's kind of far-fetched.
I still think it's probably more likely at the very end of the timeline.
Yeah.
Because you do see locations from other Zelda games. But the thing about the original Zelda is that it's one of the later games in the timeline.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Well, it breaks into three timelines.
I thought he was a little boy in it.
That is true. I mean, they might have changed. It might have. Sometimes I kind of think it could be a reboot of the series.
The first one?
Just of Zelda in general, like the Zelda series. This could be like maybe a reboot or something.
Oh, the newest one, Breath
Breath of the Wild.
Oh, okay.
But I still think it's probably at the very end with an all new Link. And they are talking about like, well, 10,000 years ago there was a fight with Ganon too, and he left treasure, and I think that might be in reference to Wind Waker, but I'm not positive yet. But it's a fantastic game. I'm going to play it all the way through. It's one of those games that like I will spend 4 hours playing the game
nonstop,
and then once I have to stop because I have to like go to bed or do something else, I'm like, I feel like I haven't been playing this game at all. Like, I feel like I haven't done anything in the game.
Yeah.
Like 4 hours is nothing in that game.
Well, because it's so much running around.
There's a lot of running around, but like it doesn't get old.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to stop playing it. It's
once you get in, you can never get out.
It never lets you go. But I'm enjoying it. I can't wait to play more of it. And yeah, if you have a Wii U or if you have enough money to go out and buy a Switch and this game, go buy it.
Or you could just buy a Wii U if you don't have enough money to buy a Switch.
The Wii U is practically the same amount of money.
Is it still? Like how much? Like $250?
It's like, no, it's not. It never even dropped down to 300. From 300, it's still like the same amount as a Switch. That's ridiculous.
So you think Breath of the Wild is better than Final Fantasy 1?
Yeah.
I beg to differ.
It may even be better than Ocarina of Time.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yes. So far, in my opinion, which Ocarina of Time was like...
Yeah, that's a pretty big deal.
Yes, it is. But this, like, legitimately, this game is so good.